Gloves today are so cool. They got so much color and personality, and no one knows them better than this week's guest. In this week's episode, we talked with Sean Kulberg from GOAT Gloves and Better Baseball. We got to talk to him about his sick glove collection that includes gloves from Cody Bellinger and Trevor Bauer, how he started collecting, and how he's building a content empire all about gloves. Can't wait for you to see this week's episode with GOAT Gloves.
Before we jump into this week's episode, if you are an athlete who wants to start creating content to grow a brand, you need to join our newsletter. It's called the Athlete Creator Club. It is free, and it's where we break down all the things that we're learning from these episodes with guys like Bill Leroy from the Savannah Bananas, or Josh Shapiro from Baseball Lifestyle, or Max Fried, or Bryson Webb, who's creating content as a D1 athlete. Guys, this is the newsletter that you need if you want to start creating content to build your brand, to get the brand deals, and to get attention in the marketplace today. Just go to Brolletts.com. Sign up. It's free. Now, let's get into this week's episode.
Let's start with the hot take. Should Trevor Bauer be playing for an MLB team this season?
Oh, what a great question. I think so. I would hope so. It was a guy that I got to work for, and we'll get more into that off the first take. But I think he's definitely talented enough. It's unfortunate what happened, and it's been in the league for a while, and he's proven himself. But I think he's also happy to be in Japan, and getting to play over there is such a cool experience. And I think he really likes it over there as well.
Yeah, we're kind of in the same boat. Like, we agree he should be pitching somewhere, especially with all the holes in the league right now. But he's making the most of it. Obviously, like, his content's unreal, and what he's doing in Japan is elevating everything over there. So that's awesome, man. Like, kind of piggybacking around to that, I know one of your videos, like, when you tell the story, it's so good. And you talked about interning with Luba and what they're doing over there. How did that even come about? How'd you land that? And what'd you end up doing over there?
Yeah, so that was going into my senior year of college. I applied for the job, literally found it on Twitter, applied for the job within like the first 5 hours of it being open. And kind of along with my resume, I sent in like a pitch deck, pretty much a 5-slide slideshow presentation of kind of just pitching really a sponsorship, and it was a glove sponsorship between Trevor and a company in Japan that makes gloves. That was kind of one thing when I first interviewed, and I got the interview. She said that really stuck out to her. It was kind of going the extra step that not many other candidates did. So that was something that really impressed her. And then finally landed that internship. It was amazing. I went out there in the summer, so spent 3 months in the Momentum facility. That's where her office is headquartered. So not only got to intern with Rachel, but also be with the whole Momentum team, and got a ton of invaluable experience over there with those guys. So it was a really cool experience. I learned a lot, but it was also really fun. Like, those guys are just an amazing group of people. So it was really cool to be in there. I basically got to do a lot of outreach marketing for Trevor and a lot of the other clients that we had. So it was mostly talking to other companies, getting sponsorships, and then also helping along with her content and some other ways.
Man, that's so cool. I love that, to go in the extra mile. Like, all of that just helps so much, and to stand out. I know we were joking, like, I'm hiring for a spot in my day job right now. We had 250 applicants in the first 24 hours, and every resume looks the same. And so those little things, like, they just go so far. Then the other side, and we're going to talk a lot about your content coming up, is like, there's no way you couldn't have soaked in some of what they were doing there, right? Yeah. That's led into your content adventure today. And I know, we got a bunch of questions on that side, but I'll let Cole kind of transition us here.
Your glove collection is insane. Let's go back to the beginning. When did this become a thing for you to collect and not just play with gloves?
Yeah, this goes back to freshman year of high school. Pretty much before then, I used like a glove I had since I started playing baseball. And this glove is probably 7 years old. I mean, it was just, it worked so far, so I didn't really change it. And then in high school, I started to realize, like, everyone else is getting these A2000s, Harv the Hides, and I had no clue what it was, but something sparked an interest in me. And I'd always kind of been fascinated with a few things, like whether it's sneakers, and that kind of just turned into gloves, being a baseball player. So that's really where it started. And I got my first A2000 as a 14-year-old kid, and that just never stopped from there. And I flipped gloves in high school. So it was would buy gloves, use gloves, and kind of taught myself how to refurbish them. and then I would flip them for more money. So before I could get an actual job, that's how I made some pocket change, and it really just took a whole spiral down there, and now I've got this collection.
That's so cool. And so going back, like, let's call it 8 to 10 years ago, right? With this first A2000, today, like, you have newsletters, you've got YouTube channels, you got guys on TikTok, you got people like you that are out there doing this. How in the world did you learn about gloves back then? Because even today, like, it's not like sneaker flipping. It's not like, eBay clothing flipping. And it might be, maybe there's a whole subculture that I don't know about, but it seems like that was a smaller niche back then to play in.
Definitely. I mean, I'd say gloves are 10 years behind sneakers. So we're not where they are, but we're getting there. But especially, back 8 years ago when I started, there was nothing like what it is today. So I got a lot of knowledge from YouTube, and other Instagram accounts that are out there. There's some really great people, OGs, that have been doing it even before me, that I got to learn a lot from. And then I taught myself how to relace on YouTube. There's literally tutorials out there, how to break in gloves, how to relace gloves, how to clean gloves. And a lot of it was also trial and error, just buying gloves just to mess around with, and you kind of figure out what works and what doesn't pretty quickly. So it was a long process, but it's well worth it.
How did you end up with Cody Bellinger's 2020 World Series glove?
Oh, that was an eBay find. And I don't want to give a number, but it's probably the most I've spent on a glove. I also got some of his batting gloves with it. So it's something I'm very fortunate to have. It was something I really just couldn't pass up on. It was sitting on there for a while, and I just waited for it to tick down in price, and eventually it got so low I had to go for it.
That's cool. Were you like a Bellinger fan, or just like owning like that piece of history was just kind of cool, for you?
Yeah, it was not a Bellinger fan really, but just the glove itself with the gold patches really had me excited about that. And it being used in the World Series is really cool. I also have the Topps baseball card of him using it in the World Series.
Talk about, so real quick, you mentioned it, and like the patch on it is actually gold, and that's because he's a Gold Glove winner. So talk us through a little bit. I think you have the glove there, but like walk us through a little bit of some of the cool things on the glove that the average, watcher has no idea that's going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool things. So first, of course, you got the gold patches there. Those, of course, you can only have on your glove if you are a Gold Glove winner, if you've won the Rolling Gold Glove Award. Then you have his name on the side there, which is awesome. The backing on this glove is interesting. It's made of suede, so it's like a brushed leather, different from a normal black leather on the inside. I haven't seen that on many gloves. It's kind of one of their things they like to keep for the pros, or just really limited edition stuff. That's mostly it. To me, because I'm a glove nerd, the coolest part on the inside, it's the model number. You'll see that it starts with a pro, which is normal for all the Rawlings gloves, but it ends in a pro. So if it ends in a pro, it's beginning and end. If it's sandwiched, that means it's a pro issued glove. So it's only given to those pro players. So if you find something like that, it's very, very rare, very unique.
How much do you spend every year on gloves?
Oh, it's definitely changed over the years, and especially now that I have a full-time job, it gotten dangerous. But it's also nice because working for an awesome retail store and baseball company, just being in the industry, you get some nice some perks of the job, and sometimes that comes with some gloves, which is always nice. I try not to spend too much, and usually if I buy one, I try to sell one or two just to kind of offset that a little bit. Well, yeah, not as probably should be saving more, but they make me happy, so it's hard to turn that down.
I mean, we all have our thing, right? And I think that's super cool, man. So kind of piggybacking on that is like, now that like your collection's growing, right? How do you pick which, and like you can see that like you got some gorgeous cases and things behind you. There's limited space in those cases, right? Like, how do you choose what enters the collection? What are the criteria? And then like the other part is like, how do you say, sorry, you're out, like new one's coming in? Like
it's not easy, and especially like I have more gloves than I do have shelf space right now. I have an apartment with roommates, so I'm really limited to my bedroom, which is not a lot of space. So it's definitely, some get traded out more than others. I'd say right now, if I'm gonna buy a glove, it's hopefully looking for something I haven't had before, maybe something that I can make a video on, educate people, some new feature that, you know, if there's a new innovation a company's working with that I want to take a look at, that's usually something I'll try to go for. Unless it's really, really special, won't be something that I have already.
So I saw this video that you posted. It was like the Nike glove that you got, right? Like the limited Nike run. I want to talk about like, how do you stay on top of like cool drops and like find these releases? Obviously, like being a better baseball, like you have an advantage, right? Because you're probably hearing directly. But if someone, you know, let's say Colt was like, man, like I really want to get some cool exclusive gloves. Like, where do you start? Are there, you know, I know in like the sneaker world, there's people there that are really on top of like sneaker drops and things. Like, how do we stay on top of what's happening on like this limited glove side?
Yeah, it's not as easy as sneakers, I will say. There's For sneakers, there's people talking about all the drops, and there's forums and whatnot. Really, for gloves, a lot of it comes from the manufacturers. So those social medias will be, you know, Wilson or Rawlings or anyone else will tell you when they're dropping gloves. And then also, like, there's other companies now, like Better Baseball, who have exclusive gloves and things like that, where you can get some really cool gloves now. They're a lot more available than they were, you know, 8 years ago when I was starting. So I will say it's a lot easier to find something you enjoy now than it was back when I started.
Yeah. Are there good like secondary sources? Like, is eBay still like a great place for that, or like any like marketplaces like that are hot for like secondary stuff?
Definitely. It really depends what you're going for. So like eBay and Sideline Swap are great if you need a deal on a glove. And if you're maybe looking for something used, you want to fix it up and maybe resell it or something. If you're looking for a deal, eBay and Sideline Swap are great. On the flip side of that, though, if you're looking for something really special, say a Cody Bellinger glove or a game used glove, like eBay is going to be also really good for that. It just comes usually at a higher price point because people know what they have. And then I guess in between there, if you're looking for just a good gamer or a custom glove or an exclusive, you can find those pretty easily now at retailers.
Do you ever like flip or sell the gloves?
Yeah, I mean, I talked about it a little bit before, but that's really how I got my start in high school, was buying used gloves, taught myself how to relace, how to clean, refurbish gloves. So I'd get in a glove for $100, you know, just kind of put some elbow grease into it and turn it around for $150, which as a 14, 15-year-old, like it's a good bit of money if you can do that over time.
Other than you, who has a crazy good glove collection?
Ooh, so I'm fortunate. I have a lot of coworkers that also collect gloves. So my guy Michael Bice, me and him have a friendly feud going between us, between our collections. But he's really good. There's some other like really good collectors out there. There's a guy named Justin Yee on Instagram. He's got some really cool, really unique stuff. He has a Shohei glove that's really, really special, something I'm jealous of.
What are some under the radar brands or styles of gloves that are slept on by most kids or players?
You know, it's tough to say because I think there's a lot of brands doing some really cool things nowadays. But I've always been a big proponent of like finding a glove that works for you. And, you know, for every player, that's going to be different. And even collectors, it's going to be different because everyone has different taste. You know, I think everyone's innovating right now. And the really cool things that Rawlings is doing with the Rev 1Xs have some really cool prints. And I know that is really cool for some collectors and even players. Same thing with Wilson doing the super skin and a bunch of other cool things that are really, really nice. The possibilities are almost limitless for these companies now, it's hard to find something you don't like. And there's another company that we carry called Shadow Gloves. They do pitching gloves mostly, but they have some other like infield gloves and whatnot. They're probably the most out there gloves. Like they get the most looks, I would say, in the store where people are like, what is that? And they have like eyes and scratches all over the gloves. It's probably the most unique glove that we carry.
That's fun. Those are cool, really cool styles. You guys see obviously a lot of people coming into the store. What do parents get wrong when buying their kids a glove, or what should they be thinking about? Because, you know, I think, and we see it a lot with kids his age, like they're buying a glove at 12, 13 that they're probably going to use through 16, 17, right? Into high school. And, you know, gloves aren't cheap anymore, right? Once you start like getting up, you know, what are some things that parents either get wrong or maybe that they should know when trying to find the right glove for their kids?
Yeah. I'd say the first thing offhand is going to be sizing, because a lot of kids, I mean, it's just natural to think when you grow up, you get bigger, you need a bigger size glove, which isn't totally true, because, I would say a 12-year-old can use an 11.5-inch glove, but also the major league guys are using, 11.5-inch glove, but also major league guys using 11.5-inch glove. And really the main difference is the hand cutout. It's made to fit a completely different size hand, but the glove doesn't really change size. So that's probably misconception number one. I'd say the other thing is, like, just because it's a nicer glove doesn't mean it's the best glove for you. So if you come in, you're a 10-year-old kid, an A2000 might not be your best option. Something that's at $300 made for an adult is honestly going to make you play worse. It's going to be a heavier glove, harder to break in, harder to squeeze. It's going to last a long time, but at the end of the day, if you're not playing better with that glove, it doesn't help you. It's a bad purchase. So honestly, a lot of people may overbuy gloves, which, again, it's a great glove. You're getting quality products, but if it doesn't help you on the field, that defeats the purpose.
When did you start creating content around your glove obsession?
Yeah, it started, around the same time. I got into gloves early freshman year of high school, and probably created the page a few months after that. Originally, it was kind of showing off like what college gloves are dropping, some other collectors. I didn't really have anything to show off of my own. And then as that grew, I started reselling gloves. I did that a lot through Instagram and made a lot of sales on there. And then finally, as I had more money, got to grow the collection, became kind of showing off those gloves. As I learned more, I got to educate other people on gloves, glove buying, glove trading, all that stuff.
What's your content process like? How do you come up with ideas and go from filming to actually posting these?
Yeah, that's a great question. I wish I had a more formal and better process. Really, it's just kind of whatever's new, whatever's front of mind. Honestly, like, asking great questions like you guys did of what are people missing maybe? What can we explain better? Like, gloves are not a easy thing to get. So trying to explain those in the best way possible to help consumers also. And then the more I get new gloves nowadays makes it a little bit easier because there's always fresh content to talk about. In terms of kind of the schedule, I try to post as much as possible. It's difficult balancing a full-time job, trying to have a social life, go to the gym, do everything like that. So it's really just when I have time. I try to pack as much as I can into the weekends. If I knock out 3 to 5 videos in a weekend, that will get me through the week. So that's the most helpful thing.
Yeah, that was where I was going to go next, is like, are you doing a lot of like batch recording, like things like that? And like, do you have like an idea deck anywhere, or is it just like, all right, I got a couple hours on Saturday afternoon. What do I got? Like, what am I doing? Like, or, any process to like, man, like this glove came in, that'd be cool. These customers have these questions. Like, are you stockpiling anything, or is it just more go with the flow? Let's see what we get.
For ideas, I have a stockpile, but sometimes if something new comes up, if something's just jumping, that's going to skip the line. That's going to go number one. And a lot of times, like if a new glove is dropping, you only have a limited amount of time to let the people know about it. So a lot of times it's finite when you have to post it. And then other content you can kind of sit on for a little bit more. I'm terrible about keeping everything in one place. Like, some stuff, ideas are in my notes app. Some is written down in a notebook that's been sitting in my closet, and like it's everywhere. But I keep finding ideas, keep writing them down, and eventually I get to them all.
What's your gear and setup look like?
Okay, so I film on a Canon G7X. I have a few tripods with a ring light on them. It's very low budget production here. And then I use Final Cut to edit. I'm by no means a pro at editing or filmmaking, but it gets the job done, and it's good quality. So I run with that.
Hey, that's pretty like upgraded from a lot of the guys we talked to, right? Like, we just talked to a college baseball player right before this one, and he's like, I literally use my phone and I edit inside of TikTok. And I was like, oh, that's pretty base level, man. But whatever gets the job done.
For the longest time, that's what I did. I'd say I upgraded probably 3 or 4 years ago to finally a real camera. It's also when I started getting into YouTube a little bit. So need something a little bit beefier for long form. What's
your coolest interaction from content?
Ooh, so I've gotten to meet a lot of really cool people, not just through content, but I've had some really cool jobs that I've been able to do with my content. So coolest interaction, I've been able to meet some followers, which is always really cool and really fun. Obviously working with Momentum was a dream. Sitting 15 feet away from Eric Sim every day is just always interesting, man. That guy's a nut. But that's been really cool. And then also, getting to work at Better Baseball now, having new people in the store every day, and just being able to be around all the product and being in the know. Like, you told me 5 years ago I'd be where I am, I wouldn't believe you. So it's just really, the whole journey has been amazing.
Tell us about the first glove you got to custom design.
Honestly, took me a while, considering the amount of gloves I've had, to get my first custom glove. It was a 44, which is, I would say, a lot of people's first custom glove. They're pretty popular in that department. So my mom got me this on the Black Friday sale, which is an insane price for a custom glove. It was like $140 back then. But I got my channel name on there. I got a cross, and then I got the Texas state logo in there. That's where I'm from. So that's really the cool thing about custom gloves, is that it truly feels like yours. And this one, getting to do all the things that mean a lot to me on it is really special.
Have you done one? I know Ryder did a custom 44.
I haven't customized one.
And he's got, what's the brand you have now? It's the
RR44.
The RR44, their sister company out of was that Dominican or Puerto Rico or something.
Uh-huh.
His coach got his entire team like custom red ones for the World Series last year, and he did it so nice. He's like, all right, you're going to be a shortstop when you get to high school, so I'm getting you your high school glove now, and you're going to be that. Like, it was so cool. But they're really quality gloves, especially for that first like customized glove, without going crazy on price.
How do you work with the glove brands to customize a glove for Better Baseball?
Oh, great question. So a lot of it is really just going on the custom builders that they have. So going on WillsonRowlings.com, really just cooking up the best designs that we can. And then typically we'll sit down with them, kind of go through what we want to order. Internally, we'll make cuts. So we'll make say 100 gloves between a team of people. And then we kind of just cut those down. Some of them are, kind of duplicates of each other just by nature of it. So we'll cut those down, get our final number. And then we present to Rawlings or Wilson. They'll sometimes have innovative or new stuff or features that we can throw on it. And then we'll go through that with them and kind of be like, this would look good here. Maybe we can throw this on this glove, and kind of just patch that together and then order them. And the turnaround time is a while for those. So it's really fun when they finally come in and we get to see, like, forgot we even made these gloves, and they show up however much time later.
How are you guys? Are you guys doing that like by committee, or is like some different employees like building different ones, and then you're just like voting on them? Like got 10 guys in a room, and you're like, yep. Let's go with number 4. Like, how? Like, is that is as easy as it is, or is there more to it?
Yeah, pretty much. So we'll set a day and just be like, get in, two of every position, get them in by this date. And then after that time, we'll sit down kind of as a committee, just internally, and we'll go through that together. And say, we like this one. We have something like this already. Maybe, okay, don't go with that one. And just pick our favorites, what we think will be our bangers, and then bring those to the Wilson or Rawlings or whoever we're doing it with, and then sort it out from there.
If you do have one that hits like a banger, and let's say they sell real quick, will you reorder, or is it like, nope, we made 3 of these, we're done? Like, how do you guys think about that? Because obviously you want to sell gloves, right? Like, that's part of it, but obviously exclusivity helps sell gloves too. So how do you guys think about that side?
It's kind of a case-by-case basis as well, because if a glove is really popular, we have to give the people what they want. So we'll reorder some. And for us, the exclusivity is really the abilities that the companies give us. So there's a lot of things on our gloves at Better Baseball specifically that you can't get anywhere else. Even if you go on the custom builder, whether it's leather patches, it's stampings, you have camouflage, topography, wood grain stamping, all these really cool options that the public doesn't usually get to see. And then we get all of that, and it's also at the same price as a stock glove. So it's a regular hard to hide price. You really get like a full custom glove.
That's cool.
So it, depending on how well they sell through, and also like some of the options, if we get a certain leather color, it's not available past, 100 gloves. Once we get through those 100, like, that's it. Like, sometimes we don't have an option to reorder. And it's really case by case basis. But usually I'd say half the time we can reorder it. And the other half, it's kind of just, once it's gone, it's gone.
I want to talk about like you and like your vision for the brand, right? Like, where do you think you could take this? You know, like what is there a North Star for you, or is it just like day by day? Let's see where this goes, or like do you have a vision of where this could go?
Yeah, I mean, there's always dreams, and we're always looking to push the envelope of what we can do. I'm really excited that when Bice and I have finally gotten together, and the way we can push content in the future is going to be really, really special. I've gotten to work with him for 10 months already, but I think and this year we're really kicking it into high gear, and that's going to be one of our main focuses, at least me personally. For the company, we're always going to be pushing the envelope, whether it's gloves, bats, any other gear. The show might go on the road at some point. I don't know when that would be or where, but I think we want Better Baseball to be available to everyone. So the better of a job that we can do that and get ball players with the best gear possible, we want to do that. So I think it's such a fast moving industry, and everything changes day by day, even hour by hour, that it's hard to project where you're going to be. But you keep grinding at it every day, and it'll lead you somewhere, man.
Well, the good news is, between you and Michael, like you got a heck of a team, man. I remember like every day, like leading up to like the Christmas season when he was like boxing people's orders and like doing it, like the content game is insane. And I think for you also, like having somebody that you can collaborate with has to be awesome, because I've been doing this for 20 years and I sometimes just sit in a silo, and it's hard to be a lone wolf in content, but you got a guy that you could bounce things off, or you could try something and you get to test things. And if the video doesn't do well, you come back tomorrow and you do it again. And I think you're in a really cool spot. And I love that Better Baseball is allowing you guys to do that and test these things and have an opportunity to both grow your personal brands. But by growing your personal brand, you're also growing the Better Baseball brand, which is really cool.
Yeah, no, it's been amazing. And, Michael and I both come from having our own content creation, taking what we've learned on our own and applying it to Better Baseball, who has the funding and the resources to really blow it up. So it's been great. And, working with Michael, he's the face of Better Baseball right now. And it's great because a lot of stuff we complement each other well, where if he recognizes one thing that I may not see, and then I see one thing a different way that he doesn't see, that I think the way we see things is really working well together. And we apply different talents to it. And it's going to be really fun.
Colt's put together some fun rapid fire questions for you. So let's jump into the rapid fire round.
Let's do it.
What player's glove do you really want to add to your collection?
Ooh, I'd say Jose Altuve. I grew up in Houston, big Houston Astros fan. He's done great for the organization. That would be really cool.
I feel like he needs a new outfield glove right now.
Right.
He's had a couple errors in spring. He'll get it worked out, but
yeah, that might not be the glove's fault at this point. I don't know.
No, it's a rough transition so far, but
we'll see.
We'll figure it out.
What's your dream glove collab? Meaning cool brand that should collab with a glove company.
I really like, I've kind of gone into the streetwear designer things. I would love if they're like some designer brand, like a Louis Vuitton got in with a Rawlings, and they made a Gucci collab for Lindor, but that was like a one of one. I think something like that would be really cool, kind of blending the high crafted luxury leather with the leather of a baseball glove would be really, really cool.
What's your all-time favorite Better Baseball exclusive glove?
Oh, that's a really good question. There's a lot to choose from. I'm probably biased because I've designed a few, so
That's all right. That's why we're talking to you. You get to pick.
That's perfect. I will say this is a glove that has not released yet, but we literally filmed them. We got them in like 3 days ago. There's a Rawlings glove. It's called the Roulette. There's some really cool features on it. It's a black and red glove, blonde. It's kind of my school's colors. I went to University of Georgia, so we're black and red. And that glove is, it may not look like the flashiest or the coolest, but it has some really cool features on it that, the average person might not notice, but I think it's really, really cool.
We're going to need to DM us that one when that goes live, because we're the Brolletts, and that's the roulette, and Red and black are his colors. So that might be one that we need to add up to the collection.
It'll be up soon. If you have time to come up to Better Baseball, you can come take a look at it. I know you guys will be up here in a few months, so that'll be cool.
Who's the coolest person or story that's bought a glove you made or customized?
I'm not sure of who's bought a glove that I've customized, but I worked when I was at the University of Georgia. I got to spend 2 years working with the baseball team there, and kind of being the resident glove expert. A lot of the players would ask me to help customize their gloves every year. So we had probably, I'd say, 5 to 10 guys every year on the team that I got to like at least give a little bit of input in their gloves. So that was really cool.
If you were to start your own glove brand, what would it look like?
I try to do the best I can of having some classic colors in there, but also a little bit of new school flash. I would really aim for quality stuff. Probably some nice kip leather, maybe go to Japan for that quality craftsmanship. I've gotten more into that recently, and it's really changed my perspective, and they're ahead of the game from us in the glove department. So that would be something I would really focus on.
What's your favorite video that you've made?
I really like the last one that I did. Just kind of telling the story of how I got from where I was to where I am. It's something that I'm really proud of. I worked very hard, and my mom's an entrepreneur, so I kind of got that spirit from her, and it's just ran with it. It's cool to see, where a simple passion like baseball gloves can take you. Now it's my career, so I just like sharing that story, and I think it's cool. A lot of people can relate to it.
Yeah, that was obviously that's my favorite video. There's the storytelling in it was just incredible, and it got us to want to reach out and have this conversation. And I think one of the coolest things about this conversation is that you can have a love for something like baseball, but you don't have to be Aaron Judge or Bryce Harper to love what you do, to have a good career, to make an impact, to help people. You're living proof of that. And, from your content side to, the people that come into the store, you're doing a heck of a good job. So I just want to say thank you for doing that. And being an example of a way to give back to the game that you love in a cool and different way.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. It's what I'm going for.
I love it. Well, dude, we'll link up all the socials, both for your stuff and Better Baseball below. Anything else or anything fun that you guys maybe have going on, stuff to look forward to this summer that's worth talking about before we let you go?
Yeah, the summers are always crazy. So if you guys are playing in Atlanta, I know a lot of teams get up there over the summer. We'll have some crazy exclusive gloves coming up in the summer. We just got Rawlings in, and then Wilson is shortly behind it. So if you are looking for a new glove, we'll have some really fun stuff there. The All-Star Game's also in Atlanta. So I don't know what we've planned exactly yet, but that will be some really fun stuff. Hopefully getting some on-field access or something close to that, maybe looking at some gear. Content, of course, be on the lookout for that. We're really going to ramp up this year, especially YouTube. So that'll be really a big focus. If you guys want to interact with the brand, you're not local to Atlanta, that's the best way to do it.
That's super cool. I think you got the bananas hanging out in store in a week. Nice.
I'm going to play at Truist, and then they'll be in here. We'll have 2 bananas and then 2 party animals in the store.
Man, you guys are doing awesome. Sean, thank you so much for spending some time with us. We had a blast, and I can't wait to share this episode.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.